existing streets.
Like the city of Moorhead had no public works type of
Yeah.
implications and.
Right, right.
What do neighboring towns do? Because, I mean, Nowthen and Moorhead are not the same town, in case you've ever been to Moorhead. But,
Well, yeah, it really doesn't matter, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but everybody is really different, but I can research that if you'd like, Ramsey, I would say that most suburbs do allow an administrative split.
yeah, I mean, I'm all
Ramsey
for the
has-
administrative.
Well, a lot of Ramsey has city water, so
Yeah.
it would be quite,
It's different, but it's basically just different lot sizes, but it's the same concept.
Yeah, and
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mayor.
I think that's one of the things you have to consider is, because we have the large lots, because we're one of the last rural areas of Anoka County, you're gonna find more of those that need correction or cleanup than you will with something where you've got 25,000 residents like Ramsey or Oak Grove with 2.5 acres. And, Oak Grove's probably a little closer to what we have. But we just have a lot of these things we've encountered where people gave something to their kids, or, we've had a lot of things where buildings have been across property lines and nobody knew it. Those types of things that clean up. And that's really what you want to do, is define how far or how little Liz needs to do, and put it in a formal structure, so anybody who's engaged in it understands why they're paying a fee and this person isn't. Again, reminding everybody that the land use issues, we need to be specifically not arbitrary and capricious. That's where the city loses in court. If it seems like you're arbitrarily deciding something, you can go back to a policy and say, here's what we defined, and here's the threshold. When it goes from administrative to commission, it makes it a lot easier to defend. And so if you're interested in tabling it that and giving Liz a shot at drafting it, might be an option.
Would somebody like to make that motion?
Can I just ask one more question?
Huh?
Can I ask one more
Sure.
question?
Go ahead.
What if there's a lot that's being divided and it now has additional driveways onto a road?
Well, right, if it were a local road, it wouldn't be a problem necessarily if they had the correct frontage, lot frontage. If it were a county road, yeah, that would be,
So it's not
require
us
county approval
anyways, right,
anyway,
okay.
so it's really not up to us, but.
It was just a question.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
that's
asking.
okay. I kinda thought about it as I spoke. I have a question as well. Would you consider allowing a minor, or let's call it an administrative subdivision of commercial industrial lots, or just residential? Or does that matter to you?
I believe that with the commercial, there's so much more involved, that would probably still be something we want to review. Residential, I think, is pretty straightforward, and typically only one, there's, yeah. I think that we'd still want to review some commercials.
What we could say is any commercial industrial lot greater than so many acres, because, for instance, Mr. Green or some of these other large landowners that are still farming, but are zone commercial industrial, it wouldn't be a big deal to split a 40 into two, but if you're doing a minor subdivision on, let's say down to an acre to try to get, to sell to somebody to develop a business, I think that's a different story. Particularly as it relates to drainage utility easements and things like that that are required as part of a plat.
I guess we go back to a good example, is right north here along 65, where, we've got such a huge setback both ways.
On 201st, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And those lots, really, the way they are not real usable. Because we did such a poor job of dividing those up, allowing enough, space in front of them.
Right.
That by the time you park your car on there, you're out of land. It's about that bad.
And we're thinking about just letting people use bicycles on those lots.
You can probably sell those in Minneapolis.
We've got it up here too, and when, again, if we're not careful when we issue CUPs and IUPs, setbacks and fencing and things like that become an issue.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And when people want to develop later, it's like, well, you did this before, what happened?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I guess one other thought, I guess, would be just to allow just the correction ones as an alternative, I guess, to be done administratively. And maybe we still want the lot splits to all come before us, I guess would be an alternative as well, too.
The lots.
Yeah, but these cleanup ones that are adjusting a lot line adjustment, typically those are correcting setbacks or doing just some swap for one reason or another, I guess, and, if those wanna be done administratively and we still wanna have lot splits come to us, we could have that as an option as well, too.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a good example over there in Verde Valley, remember where the guys had the two corner, and they wanted to swap? I think they swapped about foot for foot, but the one built his shed on the wrong spot, so then they swapped and everybody was happy.
Yeah,
And we kinda haggled over that, there was really nothing there. There's been several of those where they got,
right, yeah.
I think there was one on Vega Drive over there that never did get corrected, right? Because the guy's septic was in the other man's front yard.
On Vega?
Yep,
Oh, I don't remember
I
that.
think that's before your time. But Milty Anderson had a lot over there, and Vernon Noon owned the property, and they're kinda going at an angle, cause it's around a curve in there. And Vernon Noon passed away, and his son was trying to get rid of all his excess properties, so he sold that lot. And then new guy come along and was digging the basement, he dug into Milty's septic system,
Oh, boy.
so, little problem
I
there.
just had that up on Engen too. Septic was on the property line, so.
Do we want, and Liz put something together here for us to look at, or?
Is that a motion,
Yeah,
or do we just tell her to, or?
No, you need to make a motion, because the council tells her to.
Okay,
make a
You
motion.
make a recommendation to the council directs them.
okay. Well, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we continue this to the next meeting, and in the meantime, have our planner draft up a sample change to allow minor subdivisions to be administratively dealt with.
This is Commissioner Setliff's motion. Does somebody second it?
Question for clarification, minor subdivision being a lot split or lot reconfiguration, or a minor subdivision is up to 3 lots?
I would say that my intent was the same as the narrative here from TPC, where the minor subdivision, which would include lot reconfigurations and splits up to 3 lots or less.
So up to 3 lots would be,
Well, that's you're stuck with 3 lots, because a minor subdivision, it can only be 3 lots. Over that, it has to be a regular development.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just to clarify, I think the question was before was one additional lot, so 2 lot split or 3 lot split, that's what you're clarifying here.
Right.
You're saying up to 3 lots, or you're saying up to 2 lots, one being into 2?
My motion was for the 3.
Okay. Do we have a second to this motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Commissioner Jorgensen seconded. Any discussion, further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that a tie?
I think it's 3-2.
Well, we have
No,
six.
it's,
Did you
there's
vote,
3 to
Bill?
3.
Dale?
It's 3-3.
What did
Oh,
Dale
yeah,
vote?
Yeah, I voted aye.
To agree
Yes,
or
yeah,
disagree?
Agree,
Oh,
agree.
So
so it's a tie?
It's a tie, so how does it go, tie go?
Ties or no votes?
no,
No vote then.
no vote.
Okay, somebody else like to make a motion?
Redo the motion.
Can I make a motion to his original motion?
Which was?
Okay, Barry, state what it was.
I don't think he actually made it a motion. I think it was just his idea.
Yeah, it was an idea, yes. I guess I would move that it would be, lot line reconfigurations and lot splits, and only create one additional parcel, be done administratively. Anything that makes more than 2 lots, being a minor subdivision of 3 lots, should come before the planning commission.
Okay, that's
Is
Commissioner
that gonna
Wagner.
include commercial and residential is my question to you.
I guess I would say only residential.
Residential.
Would the motion also include continuing this next meeting with,
Yes, with her drafting it up, yes.
Okay,
I second that motion.
Commissioner Farrell seconds it. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Why didn't we do that in the first place?
Got it done.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one, number 7. That's the 2040 Comprehensive Land Use Plan Update. Discussion of Nowthen's existing land use plan and changes for 2040 Com Plan Update. That could be a lot of discussion. If this goes
I
through.
think I heard tonight, everybody wants commercial everywhere.
Yeah, right?
You gotta remember-
My
Just
backyard,
kidding.
please.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, joining landowners are gonna be concerned on any issue. And the thing is, if that goes through over there, I think there should be more added to it.
More commercial added to it?
Yes, for over there. We could add some more to it.
What are you talking about? Clarify, please.
Over 181st and Bosch Street.
Oh,
I would need an alternate route home because it's already,
Well,
and I don't know, can I just like say one thing? While I appreciated all those people who showed up here, they were here for one purpose
that's right.
and then they left.
but
And-
this is very purposeful for them too, right here.
Correct, and I think everything here is very purposeful for them. And I think that they maybe didn't take into consideration that we've only had this information the same amount of time they did, and not a single one of us voiced our opinions. So some of them, for good reason, had, heart and mindset put into it, but I could have challenged all of them to maybe stay and see how this works and how everything goes together, and not just come in and, voice their opinion and think we're against them and walk out the door when they're done. So I don't know how you get that across without seeming rude or, bringing up that get involved with more things than just the negative that's affecting you. And, there's a lot of good things that happen.
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Jordan.
okay. Mr. Wrestler has property in the Elk River, abundance of property.
Ramsey too,
Yeah, and
Grove.
the reason that he probably didn't choose there is that most of that has been pre-zoned already, if you know what I mean. And maybe, and I've never been to an Elk River Council meeting to, see how they handle their stuff. And been many years since I've been to Ramsey once, but it probably might be just a lot more tougher to get something through there. I don't know. We don't know those things. They're unknown. But, there's quite a bit there that was kinda left, we don't know about. But he does own, ample property, he could have picked his different, spots as far as, going to, but, I don't know, and I really can't see the fact, now, maybe there isn't room, I suppose, in this location to put that liquor store into this one, see if you wanted to. See, that may be part of it. In the store here, there wouldn't be room to add a liquor store to it like they want to do with the one over there, see?
I don't think he wants to do it here, cause you're gonna affect the people here.
Well, see, I don't think they'd approve it, see, there ain't a chance, being you got one already. Now, isn't there some rule about having one of those off sales so far apart too?
We don't have we don't have an ordinance in our city.
Maybe we don't have any, but ordinarily that's a requirement, that they don't want them too close together.
That's right.
Yeah.
They have an ordinance.
So, I mean, if you pick apart.
Certainly something the commission could think about for future ordinance updates. but
Yeah,
it's not
well,
currently in the
think
plans.
about this over the next month, you know what I mean? Because there's food for thought there of how things come around and gravitated to what they are. But there's reasons behind all of it, and I haven't talked to either one of those guys to figure out what's going on there, but there was probably more reasons than we know about that things ended up as what they are. And I don't know what the reason behind it was to add that extra 40 to it over there. Now, was that just a money-making scheme? Or
Everything's money-making
is it the
schemes.
fact that maybe they've got ideas to add more stores to it, see,
You mean adding to the current comprehensive plan amendment?
Well, yeah, because we get that, if we got it, add that extra 40, now that's gonna end up all being a strip mall, or, see, we haven't been versed on that, what they're gonna do with that, nobody has said what the rest of it's gonna be.
Well, right, like I said, once it's changed,
Then they could start what they wanted to over there, they could even have a house of ill repute going on over there if we didn't stop them.
Oh, what?
Ordinance,
You're gonna
right,
have
don't
to
we?
explain that.
We would have people here then if we would come up with that.
No, that's
Strip
true.
club?
a brothel.
No?
They could.
Tax it, permit it.
Okay,
But
Illicit activities go on in those houses.
Okay.
But all of this, has to do with developing that, and there's gotta be reasons behind some of that. And so far, nobody has guided us in that direction, and I'm not just sure what's gonna happen there.
Well, Mr. Racer will be present at the next meeting,
And
so you can ask him.
another question I have, on that farm that's right beside it, the old Francis Riddle farm, where Stovers are now.
Right?
Now, what is that zone there?
They're still RRA right now, like everybody else around.
They are. Because, realistically, that's a commercial operation.
Well, they have a home business like many others in town.
Well, I wouldn't call that necessarily a home business.
I don't know if they're legal, but
Yeah,
that's the
well,
way it is.
that was a truck garden. For many years, that old 100 and some acres was.
Okay.
Because that guy come out from Brooklyn Park to begin with, that's where he came from, and that was Stover's father-in-law. Just for, updates on that.
I see.
And because about 1972 was when the original farmer that Francis Riddle bailed out. His wife was quite sick at that time, and there was an auction there. And that's when it came on after that, see, and then they moved out from Brooklyn Park and they grew all kinds of vegetables and pumpkins and squash and, whatever there. And then there was a pond as you go further up, Baugh, they irrigated out of that. So it made a pretty good deal for that. But I think the labor kind of was eating up the profits in the end, if you know what I mean. It's hard to make money doing that unless you're doing it yourself, because you gotta work pretty cheap, but growing vegetables and whatever. But, see, they grow quite a bit of sod to the west of there. And then they've got that, also now, has Raisler got that tower, or does that belong to Stover?
That's
still-
Stover's.
That's Stover's. Okay, but that's gotta be some odd configurations in there of land to the west then too.
Well, you know, if you look at the whole area, you've got 160 acres, but in addition to the 40 under the current comprehensive plan amendment, there's really only another, you know, maximum 30, 10, even 25 that's high and dry.
Yeah, but it's pretty good sod ground, cause they got sod in all of it, and they
Right.
cleaned up them ditches and they got rid of all the trees, you know, that was hanging over in there.
Well, and part of the thinking was that the big power line, that nobody would necessarily want to live under it, so.
Well, that's a possibility there, because there's, you know, rumors of things happening under them that, you know, like for dairy farmers and stuff like that, and then how much of that is the truth, you know, nobody knows. Interesting anyhow, but you gotta put all that together and just see kinda what, because Raisler, when he gets done, he's gonna be limited by the amount of houses he's gonna be able to put in there.
Lori, are you getting all this?
Especially the drinking part.
Because to the.
We're gonna use
where
something for
that-
the Nowthen history books.
Yeah, but we go to the west line of Nowthen, and from there west, it's pretty doggone low. You know, you'd have to agree with me there. And then there's a piece that goes next to the old turkey farm and sheep farm up there, where the houses are now. That's pretty low back in there too, that's too low to put houses in.
In Elk River, you're talking, right?
Well, it's right on the line.
It's on the border, it is Elk River though.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's right on the line as far as,
But the low spot is on the line.
yeah,
But I don't think
right.
the sheep farm didn't come over into,
Yeah, that was in Nowthen. Yeah, that was all in Nowthen, because he worked for the railroad, see.
it's right there behind Bailey Estates.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, Bailey Estates, that was the sheep farm,
Okay.
yeah.
I would like it in the record, I wasn't alive for most of this. But you can't, I mean, you can't put liquor stores in Elk River. They're all city owned.
Well, see, there might be the key right there, that's probably what's going on. He probably wants to get into the Elk River market, because they're probably charging too much for their liquor.
I don't ride there, just saying.
No, but that might be the whole gist of the situation, why he's not building it on the Elk River side.
It has to be municipal liquor store.
Yeah.
It can't be privately owned in Elk River. That is one of their stipulations.
I'll have to talk to John about that.
Yeah, they have two, I think, two of them.
And Mr. Rademacher is running out of impervious surface area right here,
Well,
so.
see, that was some more of our good planning and zoning here, we didn't have enough space here. Again, those lots should have been deeper. But our ball field took up too much of it.
Well, and when you're dealing with the older uses, existing development, you had the house there, you had,
There was two houses there at one time.
oh,
Well, and then we didn't have requirements back in the township
There was
for
a,
the lots,
there was a
parking
store.
spaces.
There was a
and
store there
receivers.
also. The
Yeah.
Nowthen store was there also, so there's two houses in the Nowthen store.
The hardware store.
Yep.
well, so the main reason that I wanted to bring it up was, we recently removed 80 acres of commercial industrial, 40 commercial, 40 industrial. Does the city, we have to look at the big picture here. Does the city want to add that in somewhere else? We get a lot of calls about industrial land, industrial parcels and commercial parcels that we have available. And, my answer is tough, because we have one lot left here, and I have to say, well, many of our commercial industrial landowners are not ready to sell or split. So that part's,
Well, they're not offering them enough money.
yeah, there you go.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of commercial land over at 47 and 22 that nothing is on it. You'd be the first one there, you can make a lot of money, if you wanna put up the money. I would also think that otherwise, even just, if we're gonna add some, I would say to go west of our existing here would make the most sense to stay along 22,
I agree.
expand our existing,
Hub.
commercial industrial area without making an island portion down in the corner of our city where everything is very much residential and very horse oriented.
Remember, there was talk about that at one time, of zoning it commercial, you know, from what Moritz's have along there, on the old, what the world who lived there, I can't remember his name now, but you know what I'm talking about with the big brown barn? And, but of course, Moritz's would never sell theirs because that's a no-no to them, you know. But when we developed that last, you know, we took that last commercial run, remember that deal?
Yeah, we wanted to go further
Wanted to
too.
go further and for.
Same thing on 22, we wanted to go further.
Yeah, and for some reason, we were getting a lot of flack or something on it that we didn't go. And that's probably why. But, yeah, and I don't know, Liz, you know, how much more you can absorb and how much, you know, cause that Musa area was a big portion of our commercial kind of, it really wasn't either, was it? It was kind of a,
Surrounded it, it
yeah,
really wasn't.
surrounded, yeah, but that'll all go back to the regular regular, lots then when we're now, because beings that, Met Council pulled out.
Right.
But now, he's got that tract, he's got his own, already zoned commercial right along 22 there. He put a liquor store, but see, that's too close to his other one that Bill's got east there on 22. See, he's got that store right east on, was it corner of 9 there?
Yeah.
So it does make some sense to go that way with it, probably.
Yeah, and to try to get the Elk River traffic.
Get the Elk River traffic, because, see, I think what he's figuring on then is probably getting cheaper, or cheaper prices than what this municipal is, see. That might be what his objective is then.
Which
What
will make
happens-
even more traffic that'll,
Right, that's my thing, I drive that way twice a day at least. What happens with the traffic as far as like stop signs or stop lights, or how does that get fixed?
that would be up to the county as well too, to
Or
decide on
overtime.
turn lanes or whether that whole intersection
Meter stop.
widened into a through lane, left turn lanes and right turn lanes, that type of thing.
Cause now you also have, you know, what we talked
Yeah.
about tonight. and
Or
all
some
those
scary
people-
roundabout or something, yeah.
Beauty sleep.
All the people off of 181st, all those
Yeah.
new lots, I
Like a
mean,
two-lane.
I drive on that road every single day, that means I have to stop for every single one of those people. You know, granted, we're all coming home at the same time, but that road's, I don't like riding on that road. 181st is a scary road in Nowthen, I don't like it at all.
You heard what she said, there's 7,000 people a day there.
Yeah, and there's
Over
usually a
70.
cop on it in the morning, which is nice, but like, that doesn't keep deer and people from pulling out and, you know, whatever, but.
I hear you.
And if the county
Or
would consider it
hitting the brakes.
45 or 50 at some point, but,
Mr. Chair, just to
Oh, yeah.
keep things moving here, you're past the 9:30 deadline, so. Liz, is there something that they need to do on this, or is this informational?
No, we just kind of have to get going on, and this is the heart of our comprehensive plan, and once we have this figured out, what our land use changes are, then we can move forward with the rest of it. So it was kind of a good time to bring it up in association with,
It might be well in your position to kind of review and see where some of these people had decided they would like to locate. You know what I mean, that you've been getting calls on or whatever. But we don't know that, you know.
oh, the people calling me about commercial industrial parcels.
Yeah, and whereabouts they would like to locate, but here again, see, we can we could zone some of that commercial, but if the people aren't willing to sell it, you ain't gained an inch.
Right.
So it's kind of a tit for tat deal, you know what I mean? You're not making no headway.
Did you get that part? That part?
But the question still is,
Yeah, I mean, there's 60 acres that has for sale signs
the
right up the
legal,
road here.
we'd have to really come up
It's
with some
commercial
kind of-
across the road from there too, south of
Yeah.
22.
800
Same
and some,
owner.
800 and some thousand.
That's the same owner?